Why are rests important in music? Welcome back to Learn Piano, a personal practice. I'm Cynthia from Cynthia Ali Studios, a place where you can learn and find your joy in music. In the last episodes, we've explored how dynamics and articulation shape the emotional landscape of a piece. Today we're turning towards something quieter, but just as powerful, the rest. Before we begin, I want to remind you of an exciting opportunity. Our next adult piano group class, called the Mastery Pathway to Piano, starts next week, April 29th. This is perfect for adults who already know how to read notes but want a clear journey to refresh their piano playing. It runs every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time for 4 weeks. You can learn more and sign up with a link in the show notes. Now let's begin today's episode. Today's theme comes from something Claude Debussy once said. Music is the silence between the sounds. I always love that because when we think of music, we often just hear the notes, the melodies and the chords, and all the flashy runs and passages. But really, the silence is also part of the music. It's not the absence of the sound, but it's the space between each note that makes the music breathe. Since music is a language, I want to show you an example from the spoken word to demonstrate the importance of resting. In the Garden by Emily Dickinson, the first paragraph I'll read to you without any rest, no silence, no pausing, no breaths. A bird came down the walk he did not know I saw. He bit an angleworm in half and ate the fellow raw. So you can see how that runs on. It's very monotonous. I could hardly hold my breath that long. I needed to take a breath, but I was not able to. And then the second stanza in the poem, with rest, silence, and opportunity to breathe, that sounds like this. And then he drank a dew from a convenient grass, and then he hopped sideways to the wall to let a beetle pass. So you can hear how that really makes a difference to have silence, rest in the spoken language, and also gave me time to breathe. And now we will learn how rest and silence in music helps this language come alive. First, I will explain the technical side of a rest, what they look like, and then how they sound. A rest tells you when to stop playing and for an exact amount of time. Each rest has a different visual look, so you know how long it should last. The first one I'm going to talk about is the quarter rest. This one has a zigzag shape. It has a Z on the top with a C underneath. It equals a quarter note, so one beat. When you see this one, you're just going to take one beat of silence. So if we put that into music, I'm going to do it in a 4/4 pattern. So if I play 3 quarter notes and then one rest, it'll sound like this. I'm going to repeat the pattern twice. Rest, rest, and now I'm going to do it without speaking so you can hear how it sounds. Okay, that is the quarter rest. Now let's move to the half rest. The half rest is 2 beats and it equals the half note. This one looks like a little hat that is sitting on the top of the 3rd line. If you have this one in 4 beats, it'll sound like this. Rest, 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 rest. And now without me speaking. Then the next one we're going to do is the whole rest. This takes up the whole entire measure. So if the whole rest is in 4/4 time, it will be the equivalent of a whole note. This one is a rectangle that hangs from the 4th line. It looks similar to the half rest, but it would be like an upside down hat. For this one, I will play 4 notes and then leave 4 beats rest, and then repeat again, 4 notes and 4 beats rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. And then now with my voice silent. And that is what a whole rest sounds like. The next one is an 8th rest. This is half a beat and equals the 8th note. This one looks like the number 7 with a little circle dot on the left side of the top bar. This is a very quick rest. The example I'm going to give you is an 8th note followed by a rest in 4/4 time. And it'll sound like this. So I have that quick note at the beginning and then a little gap of silence. So for today, those are the first 4 that I would like you to think about when you're playing and what those look like. Try to memorize the rest symbols so you'll know what you need to do in a piece. So now that you know the technical part of rest, let's look at it a little deeper. Like, what does it actually feel like when we're playing the rest? What kind of emotion are we trying to express? And what the different kinds of pauses and silence in music are. There are so many, but today I'm just going to talk about a few. One kind of rest will just be the restful pause. So if you're playing along, so we're going up, and then a gentle little pause, and you come back down. So it feels like you're breathing in, and then you breathe out. Like you hold it a sec, and then you breathe out. So breathing in and breathe out. So very gentle. The next kind of pause is the waiting pause. Waiting for something to happen, like suspenseful. For example, if you're watching a movie, a thriller movie, like I've said before, I enjoy watching, you could think about that kind of a pause. So if you come up like this, so that was the suspense, rest, and then like a pounce sound. So for the next one, there's also a pause that reminds me of tossing a ball up in the air. Like you place the note, and then you give just a second, and then you're catching the note, and again. It feels like a bounce. The example I want to give you for the feeling of the ball toss, like a bounce, is the ballad by Bergmuller. In this one, there's a few sections like this, for example. That little rest in there, right? You play 2 8th notes. Rest, rest, rest. It'll be just in time if you throw a ball up, comes down and catch. Catch, catch. And then also at the end of this piece has the same kind of idea. 2 8ths followed by an 8th rest. Another type of pause is more of a whimsical pause or a humorous pause. You can hear this one in the song called Spooks by Eckstein. At the end, there are grace notes with a little pause, and it has a very whimsical feel. So that one is a grace note with a eighth note staccato followed by an eighth rest. The other kind of pause is used for endings of pieces where you're building to the climax and then coming to the end. So for example, this tarantella, it goes very quickly and then there's a big pause at the end. As you can see, for that type of pause, it's a bit more dramatic. Those silences make us wonder, is this ending or is it going to keep going? And then with the dramatic end. This week, as you are looking at the pieces that you are working on, go through your songs and put a little mark by your rests, and then try to figure out what kind they are. Is it one of the ones that we just talked about? This will help you really understand what you're trying to communicate with your piece. Then for fun, you could just take all the rests out and play it without them. How does it sound? It should sound pretty flat without excitement. Often, it's easy to think, oh, I'm just going to bypass all those rests. Why do I need to count them? But it is so important to count and to actually put those in where they're supposed to be. This will really bring your piece to life. I've heard it said that it's all about what happens in the stillness of the sound. That's what gives your music a greater depth. Tune in next Monday for another episode about resting. We'll go more in depth on this topic, so you don't want to miss it. Please stay connected to Cynthia Ali Studios. You can subscribe to the newsletter for updates, free resources, and also special events. You can find the link to the newsletter in the show notes, or you can go to cynthiaalistudios.com/piano community, or find the piano studio on Instagram or Facebook under Cynthia Ali Studios. And remember, if you are interested in refreshing your piano playing or to start again, our next online group piano class will be starting April 29th at 7 o'clock. We also have a piano studio book club, and we are currently reading The Little Chronicle of Anna Magdalena Bach, who is the wife of Bach, and it's his life story from her perspective. So grab a copy and you can read along with us. We will be reading it through the summer. We're just starting part 4, and we'll have about 3 months left until we start a new one. Thanks for tuning in today. And as always, keep practicing the piano and enjoying music. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. And then now with my voice silent.